Hey, what's going on, movie fans? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Total Running Time. I don't think I said that enough to you guys. Thank you for listening to the show. We're gaining in popularity as we do more episodes. And of course, I do 2 a week. You know, I do Monday, Friday. I think it's fun. They're fun for me to do because it allows me to not only tell you guys about movies that I love, I get to relive them myself. And so you guys can listen to my energy. And I'm just excited to talk about these things and go through it. And I think it's a great deal of fun. And I like doing it. I also do another show called Twisted Joystick where I do the same thing for video games. And that's a lot of fun too. So give it a listen. This week we're going to be doing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So this is people will oftentimes view Indiana Jones as just the trilogy, kind of like with Star Wars. They don't do the original. They don't take into account like a Phantom Menace in the new trilogy. They always just go stick with the original and you go from there. And sometimes the people, they do this with this one. They go, oh, I don't want to deal with, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I just want to stick with this trilogy and live that one the way it is. So yeah, there's that. But this one, took place. It was released in May 24th, 1989. Literally 19 years before Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull. It was, again, directed by Spielberg. It was written by Jeffrey Boehm. Story was by George Lucas, of course, produced by Lucas. It stars Harrison Ford, Sean Connery, Allison Doody, Denholm Elliott, Julian Glover, River Phoenix, and John-Ryhes Davies, once again back as Sala. And so, it was one of those things where it came out. I remember I saw this in the theater when it came out. And I remember loving it very much and just going like, wow, this is great. Like, I don't know why we can't see more of these. And I honestly remember getting to the end of this movie and going like, wow, I want them to do another one so bad. And I had to wait. I was 7 at the time. You know what that does to a 7-year-old when you have to eat your dreams crushed by having to wait 20 years? No, I mean, it's okay. I really enjoyed the first one anyway. The new one anyway. So yeah, it's got a running time of 127 minutes at a budget of $55 million, and it had a total worldwide gross revenue of $474 million. So they made some damn money on that thing. Woohoo! All right, they deserved it. Here we go. We're gonna go into the plot line, and then we're gonna talk about some other stuff. I guess apparently before this one, I found out that this was supposed to be, like Spielberg decided to make this one as an apology for the last one, because people apparently panned Temple of Doom so much that he was like, hey, look, I'm sorry, we're gonna make this one, and you guys are gonna lose your shit. And yeah, sure, that's fun. I think it's a BS cop out. I think you should stand by your work, but that's just me. But I'm not here to gripe on that regard. I did my piece on Temple of Doom. You can listen to it. It came out last Monday. Okay, so here we go. This is the plot line to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. All right. In 1912, 13-year-old Indiana Jones is horseback riding with his Boy Scout troop in Utah. He discovers grave robbers in a cave who find an ornamental cross which belongs to Coronado and steals the cross from them. As they give chase, Indiana hides in a circus train, in the process of scarring his chin with the whip, triggering his fear of snakes. Although he escapes, the grave robbers bring the sheriff, and Indiana is forced to return it. Meanwhile, his oblivious father, Henry Jones Sr., is working on his research into the Holy Grail, keeping meticulous notes in a diary. The leader of the hired robbers, dressed very similarly to the future Indiana, and impressed by the young Indiana's tenacity, gives him his fedora and some encouraging words. In 1938, after recovering the cross and donating it to Marcus Birdie's museum, Indiana is introduced to Walter Donovan, who informs him that Indiana's estranged father has vanished while searching for the Holy Grail. Using an incomplete inscription as his guide, Indiana receives a package which turns out to be his father's Grail's diary, containing his father's research. Understanding that his father would not have sent the diary unless he was in trouble, Indiana and Marcus travel to Venice, where they meet Henry's colleague, Dr. Elsa Schneider. Beneath the library where Henry was last seen, Indiana and Elsa discover catacombs and the tomb of a knight of the First Crusade, with a complete version of the inscription that Henry used. They flee when the catacombs are set aflame by the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword, a secret society. Indiana and Elsa are pursued and escape on a speedo, and after a chase through Venice ensues in which they capture the secret society's leader, Kazim, Indiana convinces him of their intentions. Kazim explains the Brotherhood are protecting the Grail from those with evil intentions, and that Henry was abducted to Grunwald Castle on the German-Austrian border. Indiana infiltrates the castle and finds his father, but learns that Elsa and Donovan are working with the Nazis. Hoping that Indiana would discover the location of the Grail for them, the Nazis capture Marcus, who has traveled to Haiti with the map. The Joneses are able to escape and recover the diary from Elsa at a Nazi rally in Berlin. Then they meet Sala and Haiti, and where they learn of Marcus's abduction, that the Nazis are already moving to the Grail's location. With the help of the Brotherhood, the Joneses ambush the Nazi convoy and rescue Marcus. Donovan and Elisa continue to the Canyon of the Crescent Moon, the location of the Grail. Indiana, Henry, Marcus, and Sala catch up and find that the Nazis are unable to pass through the traps set before the Grail. After the four are discovered, Donovan shoots Henry, mortally wounding him, and forces Indiana to circumvent the traps using the information in his father's diary, with Donovan and Elisa following. Indiana succeeds and finds himself in a room at the last night, kept alive with the power of the Grail, which he has been hiding among several cups. Elisa selects a gilded cup encrusted with jewels for Donovan. When Donovan drinks from it, he rapidly decays and crumbles into dust. Indiana, recognizing that the Grail would be that of a humble carpenter instead of a wealthy king, he selects the correct vessel and quickly takes it to his father with the holy water, which heals his wounds. As they prepare to leave, the knight warns them to not take the Grail past the temple seal, but Elsa disobeys, causing the temple to collapse. Elsa falls into an abyss while attempting to recover the Grail. Indiana nearly suffers the same fate until his father tells him to let it go. The Joneses, Marcus, and Sala narrowly escape the collapsing temple. The four then ride out of the canyon and into the sunset. And that's where the credits roll, and you hear dun 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 dun. Anyway, sorry, I'm just a big fan of the song. No, it's a great story. It's such an awesome, it's just this great, amazing tale. This story that's just like, man, this is fucking cool. You know, like Jones is going after, again, Christian, you know, more Western-based religion than, I mean, you know, granted it's in like, you know, northern Egypt or northern Africa, but still it's more, you know, the idea of Western-based religion and not Eastern-based, which is what Temple of Doom was. And I think that's part of the thing too. Is people like, oh, people in America who the obvious audience, you know, is geared for the demographic is, they're looking at this going like, oh, well, they can resonate with the Holy Grail. We all know the story of the Holy Grail. You know, those of us who went to church, you know, we understand that, and you can look it up and someone will explain it to you. Those kind of things. So I think that's what they were going for. They wanted that to happen. They wanted people to go, oh, okay, yeah, well, we understand. You know, it's like that. Yeah, I really love this movie. You know, it's fun because the dynamic between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford, given the fact that Connery is only 12 years older than Harrison Ford. So, you know, I mean, there's literally no physical way he could be his dad, but that doesn't matter. No, but the dynamic between the two are very funny. There's gags. They do a lot of the same things, and you can always see that Jones is seeking that approval of his father, and his father just looks very, you know, like ho hum at everything Jones does. And it's not until the end where he's just like, Henry, let it go. You know, it's you can live to fight another day. You don't need to go after this relic. You know, and they both understand. They both believe in the idea that it belongs in a museum, and they do that. And that it is because of their chemistry together. It really helps sell it. And like, I love the chase on the motorcycles where, you know, he beats, like, you know, Jones stops every single one of them and he's just like, ha ha ha, and then his dad's like, no dude, no, not cool at all. And so yeah, there's actually this whole thing I just found out about, this whole development of Temple of Doom. I'm sorry, not Temple of Doom, of Last Crusade, that I really like. I read, and I'm going to actually do an addendum to this podcast in a moment that you guys can read. You guys can listen to it. It's all about the development of you know, Last Crusade, because I think it's really cool. It just gives you an idea of what was going to be of this film. And everything. You know, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it right now because you guys are already listening. There's no point of making you listen to another one. So let's go through it. This is going to be definitely something you guys are going to get a kick out of, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So, okay, here we go. This is like, get prepared. Here's like some really awesome background I had no idea about with this. Okay. Lucas and Spielberg had intended to make a trilogy of the Jones films since Lucas had first pitched the Raiders of the Lost Ark to Spielberg in '77. After a mixed critical and public reaction to Temple of Doom, Spielberg decided to complete the trilogy to fulfill his promise to Lucas and to apologize for the second one, as I said earlier, which I think is crap. The pair had the intention of revitalizing the series by invoking the spirit and tone of Raiders. Throughout development and pre-production of The Last Crusade, Spielberg admitted he was consciously regressing in making the film. Due to his commitment to The Last Crusade, the director had to drop out of directing Big and Rain Man, which I did not know. Lucas initially suggested making the film a Haunted Mansion movie for which Romancing the Stone writer Diane Thomas wrote a script. Spielberg rejected the idea because of the similarity to Poltergeist, which he had co-written and produced. Lucas first introduced the Holy Grail in an idea for the film's prologue, which was to be set in Scotland. He intended the Grail to have a pagan basis, with the rest of the film revolving around a separate Christian artifact in Africa. Spielberg didn't really care for the Grail idea, which he found to be too esoteric, even after Lucas suggested giving it healing powers and the ability to grant immortality. In September of '84, Lucas completed an 8-page treatment entitled Indiana Jones and the Monkey King, which he soon followed with an 11-page outline. The story saw Indiana battling a ghost in Scotland before finding the Fountain of Youth in Africa. Chris Columbus, who had written the Spielberg-produced Gremlins, The Goonies, and Young Sherlock Holmes, was hired to write the script. His first draft, which was dated May 3, 1985, changed the main plot device to the Garden of Immortal Peaches. It begins in 1937 with Indiana battling the murderous ghost of Baron Seamus Seagrove III in Scotland. Indiana travels to Mozambique to aid Dr. Claire Clark, Katharine Hepburn type, according to Lucas, who had found a 200-year-old pygmy. The pygmy is kidnapped by the Nazis during a boat chase, and Indiana, Claire, and Scraggy Briar, an old friend of Indiana's, travel up the Zambezi River to rescue him. Indiana is killed in the climactic battle, but is resurrected by the Monkey King. Other characters include a cannibalistic African tribe, a Nazi Sergeant Gutenberg, who has a mechanical arm, Betsy, a stowaway student who is suicidally in love with Indiana, and a pirate leader named Kazur, who dies eating a peach because he is not pure of heart. The tank is 3 stories high and requires Indiana to ride a rhinoceros to commandeer it. Wow, I didn't even know that. Holy shit, that's awesome. Oh my god, I'd love to see that. Columbus's second draft, which was dated August 6, 1985, removed Betsy and featured Das, an expatriate bar owner working for the Nazis, and the Monkey King as villains. The Monkey King forces Indiana and Dash to play chess with real people and disintegrates each person who is captured. Indiana subsequently battles the undead, destroys the Monkey King's rod, and marries Claire. Location scouting commenced in Africa, but Lucas and Spielberg abandoned the Monkey King because of its negative depiction of African natives, and because the script was too unrealistic. Spielberg acknowledged that it made him feel very odd and too old to direct it. Columbus's script was leaked onto the internet in 1997, and many believed it was an early draft for the fourth film because it was mistakenly dated to 1995. Unsatisfied, Spielberg suggested introducing Indiana's father, Henry Jones Sr. Lucas was dubious, believing that the Grail should be the focus of the story, but Spielberg convinced him that the father-son relationship would serve as a great metaphor for Indy's search for the artifact. Spielberg hired Menno Mejis, who had worked on Spielberg's The Color Purple and Empire of the Sun, to begin a new script on January 1st, 1986. He completed the script 10 months later, and it depicted Indiana searching for his father in Montsegur, where he runs into a nun named Chantal. Indiana travels to Venice to take the Orient Express to Istanbul, and continues by train to Petra, where he meets Sala and reunites with his father. In the denouement, the Nazis torch the Grail and explode when Henry touches it. He ascends to his staircase into heaven. Chantal chooses to stay on Earth and marries Indiana. In a revised draft dated 2 months later, Indiana finds his father in Croix des Chevaliers. The Nazi leader is a woman named Greta von Grimm, and Indiana battles a demon at the Grail site, which he defeats with a dagger inscribed God is King. The prologue in both drafts has Indiana and Mexico battling for possession of Montezuma's mask with a man who owns gorillas as pets. Spielberg suggested that Inner Space writer Jeffrey Boehm perform the next rewrite. Boehm spent 2 weeks reworking the story with Lucas. Boehm told Lucas that Indiana should find his father in the middle of the story. Given that the fact that it's the third film in the series, you couldn't just end with them obtaining the object. That's how the first two films ended. So I thought, let's let them lose the Grail and let the father-son relationship be the main point. It's an archaeological search for Indy's own identity and coming to accept his father is more what it's about than the quest for the Grail. Boehm said he felt that there was not enough character development in the previous films. In Boehm's first draft, dated 1987, the film was set in 1939. The prologue has Indiana retrieving an Aztec relic for a professor in Mexico and features a circus train. The leader of the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword is Kemal, a Haitian secret agent who allies with the Nazis because he wants the Grail for glory of his country. He shoots Henry and dies drinking from the wrong chalice. Henry and Elsa, who is described as having dark hair, were searching for the Grail on behalf of the Chandler Foundation. The Grail Knight battles Indiana on horseback while Vogel is crushed by a boulder when stealing the Grail. Boehm's February 1988 rewrite utilized many of Connery's comic suggestions. Included the prologue that was eventually filmed. Lucas had to convince Spielberg to show Indiana as a boy because of the mixed response to Empire of the Sun, which was about a young boy. Spielberg, who was later awarded the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award, had the idea of making Indiana a Boy Scout. Indiana's mother, named Margaret in this version, dismisses Indiana when he returns home with the Cross of Coronado, while his father is on a long-distance call. Walter Chandler of the Chandler Foundation features, but is not the main villain. He plunges to his death in the tank. Elsa shoots Henry, then drinks from the wrong Grail, and Indiana rescues his father from falling into a chasm while grasping for the Grail. Vogel is beheaded by the traps guarding the Grail, while Kemal tries to blow up the temple during a comic fight in which gunpowder is repeatedly lit and extinguished. Leni Riefenstahl appears as at a Nazi rally. Boehm's revision the following month showed Henry causing the seagulls to strike the plane. Tom Stoppard rewrote the script in May 8, 1988 under the pen name Barry Watson. He polished much of the dialogue and created the Panama Hat character to link the segments of the prologue featuring the young and adult Indianas. Stoppard also renamed Kemal to Kazim, Chandler to Donovan, and made Donovan shoot Henry. That's just like so crazy. Just look at the film itself and look at everything it went through over the course of 5 years. Just everything it went through to become what it was. I mean, this is Hollywood. This is storytelling. This is when and this is the great thing is being like the location scout would be awesome. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Africa for this. Check this shit out. This is awesome. I had to read this off to you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved reading it. I learned so much that I didn't know was there. And you know what though? It totally reminded me to go watch Romancing the Stone again, which I'm going to do on the show in the future, I promise. So anyway, okay, so Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is definitely a nice return to home. We all love it. We all know it. And I think I'm going to do an Indiana Jones marathon this week. You know what? Screw it. I want to watch these movies again. So yeah. So, okay, well, this has been like my longest podcast, but I felt that it was totally worth it. I want you guys to let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this. This shit is fucking amazing. Give me a holler back on Facebook.com/2buck theater. That's 2BUCK theater. And enjoy it and talk. Let's converse about this awesome series. And of course, we're going to end it Friday with Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, all right, we'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great week. See you then. Love, peace, chicken grease. This is Matt Jarbo. See you guys later. Bye. See you guys later. Bye. See you guys later. Bye.